Hi everyone, welcome back to Storytime Recaps. In this video, I'm going to recap one of the film from 2008, Vacancy 2, the first cut. Without any further, let's get started. In April 2007, the Pinewood Motel in North Carolina was closed by police due to a shaky footage that revealed more than 200 killings captured on video by the motel staff. Another shaky videotape, followed by the discovery that the first recording of these killings dates to September 2004. The movie relates the first victim's story. On an isolated quiet road, a car is rashly being driven by the driver. Inside the car, there is a couple. The pair is newlywed and still wearing their wedding dress. The bride behaves impulsively due to her intoxication, and as they are driving, the groom attempts in vain to stop her from kissing him. After the bride climbed on his lap and blocked his view of the road, knowing it was dangerous, the groom stopped the car in a curve. While they enjoy themselves, a black man knocks on the window. The couple is startled. The groom lowers his window and begins to talk with the man, who tells them they are on private property and that they should leave. To further threaten them, the man takes out his shotgun and sees the stranger armed. The couple is shocked and the groom quickly leaves. When they arrive at a motel nearby, the groom parks it and exits, while the bride is still inside the car. The motel is called Meadowview Inn. The groom keeps ringing the doorbell to get assistance. Near the entry, a man comes out of the door, followed by another man. Gordon is the first man, and Reese is the second. While Gordon handles the groom's meetings and hands him the key to his room, Reese looks at him with a smile. Outside, the drunken bride climbs on the window and yells for the groom to hurry up. The groom is hurried, so he quickly writes down his contact details and throws some cash in Gordon's direction before he leaves the reception area. The groom then gets into his car and drives to their room, and Gordon and Reese watch them drive off, and Gordon tells Reese to start working. When the bride and groom enter the room and begin to enjoy themselves together, the groom is in a hurry and forgets to double lock the door. The manager's room is located close to the reception area. In the manager's room, Gordon and Reese are watching the bride and groom make out in their room. The mystery behind the room is that every hotel room has a covert CCTV camera installed by an employee. The lights flicker in the room before turning off entirely. After a few moments, the lights return, and the bride thinks it would be best to return to the car. However, the groom disagrees, so they quickly get into their car and drive away. As another car pulls into the motel, Gordon wants Reese to calm down and change the linens. Reese follows, and Gordon fakes a smile to appease the newcomers. This time, a man called Smith walks in with a woman who stays close to the car. Gordon initially hands him a room key, but then switches to a different one, and Smith is now in his room number 6 rather than number 2. Once Smith and the woman are settled in the room, Gordon and Reese monitor them from the TV, just like they did when the bride and groom were there. In room number 6, when the woman's back is to Smith, he pulls out a knife and stabs her viciously. Gordon and Reese are horrified since they have seen an unexpected murder. After getting rid of the woman, Smith removes his gloves calmly and sits at the foot of the bed. Following that, he wraps the woman's body in a trash bag and goes to take a shower. Gordon and Reese attempt to sell the bridegroom's film to a man, but the man is unsatisfied and refuses to pay. Gordon attempts to persuade the man to pay more, but he refuses. While they are talking, the man sees the footage of Smith violently killing the woman. He is impressed and chooses to speak with Smith. Smith is restrained by motel staff while Gordon, Reese, and the stranger are there. Smith tries to explain that he entered the room and discovered her dead, but they don't believe her. After talks, Smith persuades Gordon, the hotel manager, to hire him. Together, they want to torture and kill motel visitors who stay in the Meadowview and selling the videotapes of snuff flicks.
We could sell 10,000 copies.
Days later, a young couple is driving home. Caleb and Jessica talk in the car, and Caleb is anxious because he is afraid of meeting Jessica's father and fears that he won't be liked. Jessica attempts to reassure him. They both are startled when Tanner, Caleb's friend, leaps out of the back seat and says they should go back and avoid meeting Jessica's father. Since his house is a few hours away, they decide to spend the night together. When they come upon a billboard for Meadowview in the motel, they decide it's a better option and go in that direction. Throughout the way, Tanner and Jessica are involved in a cold war, and Tanner is not thrilled that Caleb will be staying with Jessica. They enter the reception area and find no one there. Tanner remains in the car with his earphones on. Gordon then appears from behind and greets the couple.
A little too much iced tea tonight. Oh, we have some of those.
As Caleb pays the room fees, Gordon presses a switch hidden beneath the table, which causes a red blinking light to appear at a corner to alert other people about their new victim. After their conversation, the pair departs and drives to their own rooms, with Tanner taking the one next to Jessica and Caleb. After the couple has settled in, they start to discuss Caleb and his living condition after marriage. When Caleb says he is fine with moving in with Jessica after marriage, they kiss. Jessica turns off the light, and they begin to spend some time together. A silhouette appears outside the room, close to the window, and looks at the pair until fading. When someone from the outside begins pounding on the door frantically while they are busy. After hearing several more knocks, Caleb approaches the window next to the door. He tries to peek outside to see who is there, but nobody is there. As the knocks continue, Jessica notices a second door across from the bed. Caleb goes to it and tries to keep it close, but he hears his friend Tanner's voice. Tanner yells at Caleb and Jessica to open the door, and Caleb does so, and they both exhale in relief. As soon as he walks into the room, Tanner complains about his hand and tries to explain why his friend and girlfriend are so agitated because he is the only person close to their room and no one else is. Since she is upset about Tanner storming into their room and ruining their moment, Jessica chooses to take a shower before she and Tanner quarrel and put Caleb in a difficult situation. After Jessica leaves, Tanner and Caleb have a talk. Tanner claims that Jessica will never be satisfied with anything Caleb does in the future. In an attempt to win her support, Caleb walks by a camera installed within a cuckoo clock. However, Tanner interrupts Gordon and Reese's plan as they are ready to enter the room, but he begins to beat on their door. Gordon says they should put some CCTV cameras outside as well to prevent such incidents. He also believes that it is dangerous to attack since there are 3 of them, even if it is just him and Reese at the time. Smith is outside, ensuring that everything is set up for their plan. A masked man stands outside the bathroom window, watching Jessica every move. Unbeknownst to Jessica, one of the masked men tells another that Gordon has decided not to carry out the plan because there are 3 of them. The second masked man ignores the first one and begins to leave. At that moment, another car passes by hoping to reserve a room for themselves. Gordon goes outside before the man can even reach the reception area and tells him that there is maintenance going on, which means there are no rooms available. The man finds the motel odd, but he chooses to leave. After witnessing the car drive away and all the men regroup, Smith is the second masked man. When Jessica leaves the bathroom and asks him to go, Tanner sighs and leaves the pair alone. Tanner turns on the TV and watches live footage of the room next door. He quickly rushes into their room and tells them that they are being watched. Jessica doesn't believe him at first, but when the men look around and discover that there are numerous more cameras installed, she becomes alarmed. The 3 of them decide to leave right away, and they get into the car, but it doesn't start. When Smith arrives and threatens to hit their car with his, the group is unsure of what to do and decides to go inside. When they are hidden in the room, Caleb is captured by Smith and 2 masked men. They begin stabbing him in the stomach, causing him to suffer severe pain and wounds before he dies. As Caleb is being attacked, Jessica and Tanner flee into the woods and hide there. They then make their way out and into a nearby house. When they knock on the door, a couple who live there greets them, and after noticing their terrified expressions, they lets them in. After they enter the house and they begin to tell everything that happened at the motel, the husband does not believe them at all. Suddenly Smith and the other men catch up with Tanner and Jessica. There, Smith tells the couple that Jessica and Tanner fled their motel after stealing from them. The 2 argue right away, leaving the couple unsure of what to do next. The wife decides it would be best to call the police, which frightens Smith and others. As she is ready to do so, he kills the husband, and then he kills the wife. Jessica and Tanner run away once more. They are eventually caught by the men, who take them back to the motel where they begin torturing Tanner, who is then placed in eternal sleep. When Smith wanted to kill Jessica along with his colleagues, Gordon and Reese hesitate to kill him and hand everything over to Smith. Gordon is upset with Smith's statement, believing that Smith has turned into a moving target and that he will no longer follow his lead. Gordon and the other men decide to allow Smith to kill Jessica. When he's finished with her, Gordon and the men will call the police and accuse Smith of being responsible for everything. After a minute of being left alone, Jessica manages to untie herself, and when Smith returns, she pretended to be still tied up. Jessica then stabs Smith in the face and she flees the room, but not before protecting herself with a gun. She then hides under the motel room and sees the bodies of Caleb and Tanner. When Reese walks in there, Jessica kills him and runs to the lake. Meanwhile, Gordon looks for Jessica in the lake. There, he finds a sweater floating on the river, so he approaches it. As he investigates, Jessica pulls the trigger, killing Gordon. However, Smith hears the gunshot and pursues it to the lake, where he discovers Gordon's body on the ground and Jessica missing. Jessica flees and hides in the nearby trailer. Following a search, Smith locates her and tries to stab her, but she starts a fire, killing Smith inside the trailer. The following morning, the police show up and speak with Jessica about what happened the night before. Jessica recalls the entire incident, but the cops don't believe her because there are no cameras or bodies discovered. When an injured Smith arrives at the Pinewood Motel, he tells a truck driver that he will have the Pinewood Motel operational in a few weeks. While he waits for the cameras to be set up, Smith gives the truck driver one of the snuff film tapes and assures him that he will make more copies as soon as he can. Thanks for watching, and remember to turn on your notifications to watch more movie recaps like this one.